ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda. Number 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. Number 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, that is Krishna Prema. Hare Krishna, I once again welcome you all of you to a Bhakti Sangha Java conference call. So we will be moving on to our next session. Before moving to the next session, let me know who are all on the call today.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Priti Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Arvind from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Arvind Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharajas, and all glories to the assembled devotees. This is Tiffany in Pennsylvania. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Tiffany Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte. Nice to see you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. I'm so pleased to be here with you all in this Bhakti Sangha Java conference call, and thank you for giving the opportunity, and thank you so much for conducting this Bhagavatam class daily. And I think, as said in Bhagavad Gita 18.66, those who spread, 18.68, those who spread the glories of the Lord, so they will have an eternal abode in the Goloka. So I wish you will have we all in the Bhakti Sangha Java will have the eternal abode with the Lord. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devi Dasi from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much for being there always with your cute smile on the call. And so that is which gives the enthusiasm to all the speakers, to all of us, all the devotees who are on the call. So please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining the call. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Radha from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna, Radha Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call, and thank you so much for your services. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Nana.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving your valuable association. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Is there anyone else to introduce themselves? Please go ahead. Prabhuji is on the call.
Mataji, Prabhuji is there. We'll start recording.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining the call and giving your association and valuable time for this morning to attend the Bhagavatam session. So today we will be having His Grace Jivana Gaur Haridas Prabhuji with us again. with wonderful PPTs. He is going to relish all the glories of Ramachandra Kaviraj, Jayadeva Goswami, Lochan das Thakur, and Gopal Goswami. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your association. Before handing over the call to you, Prabhuji, I will hand over the call to Suresh Sham Prabhuji to give introduction about you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Suresh Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please take over the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. So His Grace Jivana Gaur Hari Das Prabhuji was associated with this ISKCON for last 22 years. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. Prabhuji is the sector leader for South Chennai zone with more than 25 Bhakti Vrikshas. Every year, Prabhuji takes hundreds of devotees to Sri Mayapur and Jagannath Puri. Proficient in Telugu with his articles getting published regularly in Tamil BTZ magazine. His online Tamil classes on Chaitanya Leela attract many numerous devotees worldwide. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that brief introduction. And His Grace Jivana Gaur Hari Prabhuji, thank you so much for giving your valuable time and association. When I just saw your name, I was so happy that again you will be with your beautiful PPT presentations and all the wonderful pastimes we are ready to hear. Please go ahead, Prabhuji. I'll hand over the call to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Nananjana Salakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Ashatyate Sadarine. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. I welcome all devotees to hear about the glories of these four wonderful Vaishnava Acharyas. Ramachandra Kaviraj, Jayadeva Goswami, then about Gopal Goswami and Lochan das Thakur. So these four stalwart devotees. So what we have to pray in the lotus feet? Just a speck of dust from the lotus feet as well as a drop of mercy that they have for Gauranga Mahaprabhu as well as to Lord Sri Krishna. Ramachandra Kaviraj is the pioneer disciple of Srinivasa Acharya, and we might have heard many times about the glories of Ramachandra Kaviraj. He is very tall, handsome, intelligent scholar. That's why he was given the title Kaviraj by Jayadeva Goswami. He actually belonged to the Kumar Para, that is the Kumar Nagar, which is not far from Srikanda, son of Chiranjeeva Sena and Sunanda, and he got married to a wonderful divine Mataji named Ratnamala. So we can see the image where Ramachandra Kaviraj is being taken on a procession in a palanquin for his marriage. He looks like a Gandharva. And this procession happened to pass through Jajigram, like the entry point to Katwa. And that was supposed to be the residence of Srinivasa Acharya. So Srinivasa Acharya, along with his associates, he was sitting under a tree, banyan tree, and then he was discussing Krishna Katha with his intimate associates. At the time, when the procession was passing, Ramachandra Kaviraj happened to see his spiritual master, Srinivasa Acharya, sitting under the banyan tree. He was mesmerized. And here Srinivasa Acharya, who also saw Ramachandra Kaviraj on a palanquin, he just whispered to his intimate associates, see, he looks like a Gandharva, well-built body. So if he becomes a great devotee of Krishna, then how fine it would be. This actually penetrated into the heart of Ramachandra Kaviraj. So the procession went, and then he got married to Ratnamala. Then he described to his wife Ratnamala about the divine vision he had about his spiritual master Srinivasa Acharya. And the whole night the discussion went on there. Ramachandra Kaviraj, he didn't have any children. Both Ramachandra Kaviraj as well as his wife Ratnamala, they completely dedicated their life in the service of Guru and Krishna. So the next day morning, Ramachandra Kaviraj, he came to Jajigram. And this is the exact place where Srinivasa Acharya was sitting along with his intimate associates under a banyan tree. So he happened to come here. At that time, Lochan das Thakur, he saw Ramachandra Kaviraj coming directly in the early morning hours of the day without taking bath. So he just chastised, how dare you can come without taking a bath to see your spiritual master. Then immediately, out of pure affection, he took a broomstick and then he started to beat Ramachandra Kaviraj. And then Lochan das Thakur took Ramachandra Kaviraj to his spiritual master Srinivasa Acharya, saying that, see what your disciple has done. See, just by seeing they can understand he is his disciple. And then there were no marks on the body of Ramachandra Kaviraj, but on those places where Lochan das Thakur hit with a broomstick the body of Ramachandra Kaviraj, it had the replica symptoms in the body of Srinivasa Acharya. So in that way, Srinivasa Acharya demonstrated that he is non-different from his dear disciple, Ramachandra Kaviraj. Then Lochan das Thakur, oh, my hand has done such abominable activity. Then he immediately went to a fire in order to burn his finger. Then immediately the fingers of Srinivasa Acharya got burnt. In that way, he was also stressing the point that he is also non-different from Lochan das Thakur. So here Lochan das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya, Ramachandra Kaviraj, they can never be separated. So Srinivasa Acharya, he is Mani Manjari. Ramachandra Kaviraj, he is Koruna Manjari. And we can see that Lochan das Thakur is Chamaka Manjari, all Manjaris. So they are very intimate associates. And we all know that there was a multi-guru system even at the time of Lord Chaitanya. Under the guidance of Jayadeva Goswami, Lochan das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, they all studied Bhakti Sastra. So Lochan das Thakur, his guru is Lokanath Goswami. Shyamananda Prabhu, his guru, Hridaya Chaitanya. And then we can see how Ramachandra Kaviraj, his guru is Srinivasa Acharya. So they are all very, very intimately related. Though their gurus were different, they were so intimately related in their service. And this wonderful pastime took place at the place called as Jajigram. So two places come into mind when we speak about Ramachandra Kaviraj? 3 places. One is Jajigram, Ramachandra Kaviraj spiritual master residence, that is Jajigram, and Kumarpara. So this is the place where Ramachandra Kaviraj, he originally lived here, and then after getting married with Ratnamala, he shifted his residence from this Kumarpara, that's Kumar Nagar, to Srikanda. Then after getting order from Srinivasa Acharya, his guru, he went to Vrindavan, had the association of the Goswamis, he visited the various temples at Vrindavan. He was so inspired. On his first visit, he was able to have darshan of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. And then he came back. His life is completely dedicated in serving the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And apart from that, Ramachandra Kaviraj, he hailed from an Ayurvedic physician family. So he was both a doctor who could treat material disease as well as the spiritual disease, not taking further more any birth. So we can see physician in our Mahaprabhu's moment. Murari Gupta was a physician, Mukunda Das, he was a physician, and here Ramachandra Kaviraj, he is also a physician. So there is one significance in this place, Kumarpara. Ramachandra Kaviraj, and he also had one more intimate friend called Ganga Narayan Chakravarti. Ganga Narayan Chakravarti is a disciple of Narottam das Thakur. So at that time, the Smarta Brahmanas, they were complaining to the king, Raja Narasimha, that Narottam das Thakur is a Kayastha by community, but he is initiating Brahmanas. This we can't tolerate. And they want to expose Narottam das Thakur, so they hired Rupa Narayan, the great scholar. And then they were on the way with the great paraphernalia, great team of scholars, proceeding towards Keturi, because Keturi is the headquarters of Narottam das Thakur. On the way, they halted at this place, Kumarpara, what we are seeing here. So knowing this conspiracy, Ramachandra Kaviraj and Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, they disguised as pan beetle shopkeeper, one person, and the other person as selling clay plots. So they all know that there will be a big festival in this village. So all the scholars, even including Rupa Narayan, they came here. They came to the marketplace to buy this pan beetle as well as the clay pot for cooking. At that time, Ramachandra Kaviraj and Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, they both are extremely Sanskrit scholars, but they were disguised as shopkeepers. They took a conflict dispute just by conversing with the Sanskrit, with the so-called Sanskrit scholars of Rupa Narayan and who was working under Raja Narasimha. And they were completely defeated, outclassed. So immediately they asked them, what is the real identity? They told that we are insignificant disciples of Narottam das Thakur. Then they immediately came to the conclusion, if we get defeated under the insignificant disciples of Narottam das Thakur, then what can we do about exposing or bringing to the world that Narottam das Thakur is not bona fide? And immediately Durga Devi came in the dream of Rupa Narayan as well as Raja Narasimha and told that you both should go and then take shelter at the lotus feet of Narottam das Thakur, or else I will cut off your body into several pieces. So here Ramachandra Kaviraj, how he helped his intimate associate Narottam das Thakur, because Narottam das Thakur, like we see Rupa Sanatan, they were not interested in debates, wasting time. And even if you go deep into this matter, see all these associates, we can see their intimate association and their identity in Krishna Leela. But here we can see clearly they are not even eager to expose their identity. What is the reason that they are not eager to expose their identity? Because it actually makes an obstacles in their flowing devotion to Krishna. That's why we can see from Rupa Goswami to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, their eternal identity is Manjaris, but they don't show that. What is the reason? The one and only reason is that it actually makes a hindrance to the causeless flowing of devotion to Sri Hari. But at the same time, in order to establish the supremacy of these bona fide devotees, they are even ready to take any task to establish the Siddhanta as well as the legacy of the bona fide devotees. So here actually Kumarapara, this is the place where actually the debate happened between Ganga Narayan Chakravarti, Ramachandra Kaviraj with Rupa Narayan as well as with Raja Narasimha. And earlier we saw Jajigram. That was the place where actually he had first darshan of his Guru, Srinivasa Acharya. Then there is one more place called as Bhagavan Gola, near to Kumarpara, where actually Ramachandra Kaviraj and his brother Govinda Kaviraj, their worshipable deity, Gaura Gopala deity, Gaura Govinda deity is brought here and then being worshipped in Kumarapara. And even they have their worshipable deities in Bhagavan Gola also. So as far as Ramachandra Kaviraj is concerned, immediately these three pastimes places we can remember and meditate. Jajigram, Kumarpara, as well as Bhagavan Gola, and he also took part in the famous Keturi festival. So these three are inseparable: Ramachandra Kaviraj, Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivasa Acharya. And when we go deep into the pastime, we can see that how in their Manjari form they are eternally serving Radha Krishna. So with this incidents, we can come to the conclusion that these personalities, they are not only stalwart in their behavior, in their scholar, their devotion, in their compassion, in their preaching, but they gave love for Krishna, whomever they met. That's why the Gaudiya Vaishnava scriptures, it emphasizes that when we hear these glorious pastimes of this exalted Vaishnava Acharyas, we should always pray at their lotus feet to get a little bit of drop of their attachment to Krishna. Because if you are not attached to Krishna, naturally the attachment goes to matter. But actually the mind, how it gets completely fixed in serving the instructions of Guru as well as in serving Mahaprabhu, we can find. And the Shrikanta glories, as we have already mentioned, they are staunch followers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. In Jagannath Puri, there will be 7 Kirtaniya groups. All the 6 groups, they will be glorifying Krishna, but the Shrikanta Vasis, they will be glorifying Mahaprabhu, and they wouldn't even care. Even Mahaprabhu says that you glorify Krishna. No, for us only Mahaprabhu. So Chiranjeeva Sena, then Ramachandra Kaviraj, Srinivasa Acharya, Narahari Sarkar, Raghunandan Thakur. So they all belong to this Shrikanta area, which is not far from Mayapur. And this is the famous Madhavi Kunja, which is at Kumarapara. So the Madhavi Kunja, it means the creeper of devotion, which is also a spot which have witnessed all these pastimes. You can understand. So why all these things are being mentioned? Only just for one reason. Somehow or other, we should get attached to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And all this comes under this Gauramandal Darshan. So actually, in Gauramandal Darshan, you can go with the devotees who have affection for Mahaprabhu, and we can relish the nectarian pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And here we can also see the Gaura Gadadhara deity, Radha Krishna deity, in this place Kumarapara, wonderful deity. Mahaprabhu slightly bringing his hand above his head and then blessing us. And Jagannatha deity, Srimati Radharani. So we have many Madhavi Tala trees, and they are still now witnessing a lot of Mahaprabhu's pastimes which is happening there eternally. There is also this wonderful Radha Madhava deity where we can have darshan at Kumarapara. And Bhagavan Gola, as I said earlier, we can also have darshan of Gaura Govind and Gaura Gopala deity. So behind the temple, this is the place where you can see a beautiful river, but now it has become like a little pond. So there are beautiful many Kalpavriksha trees where we can sit and then do kirtan and then take prasad and then hear the pastime. Though apparently it may look like a typical village, but if we go with the association of devotees, you can definitely find that this place is non-different from Vrindavan, Gupta Vrindavan, hidden part. So like this, there are a lot of intimate pastimes of Ramachandra Kaviraj. So we can definitely pray at the lotus feet of Ramachandra Kaviraj. How much he is attached to his Guru, how much he is attached to Krishna, how much he is attached to Mahaprabhu. We can imbibe that more. And then we will be entering into the brief pastimes of Jayadeva Goswami. He took birth in a place called as Kenduli. Like Markandeya Rishi, Vaishnavites, as well as the Saivites, they claim that no, they belong to our Sampradaya. Vaishnavas also claim, Saivites also claim. Like that, for Jayadeva Goswami, Bengal people claim that he belongs to our state, and Odia people claims that no, he belongs to our state. So this is the place Kenduli, which is the birthplace of Jayadeva Goswami, which is present now at West Bengal. And we all know that Jayadeva Goswami is famous for his esoteric, intimate pastimes related with Radha Krishna. And this Jayadev Pita, now they call it as Kenduli, Kendu Bilva. It is also a big village we can call, but the village is named as Jayadeva Pita because the whole village, they take pride that the famous devotee Jayadeva Goswami took birth here. Jayadeva Goswami, he was born to Bhojadeva and Bhamadevi, and he was instructed by Lord Jagannath in a dream that he should marry Padmavati. Padmavati parents, they didn't have any issue, so they went to Puri Jagannath temple and prayed to Jagannath that they wanted a child, and after getting birth, they will offer the child back to Jagannath. So when Padmavati was around 10 years, so both the parents came to Jagannath Puri and then prayed that now you should accept this girl as your maid servant. And Jagannath came in the dream and told that now you should hand over this your beautiful daughter to Jayadeva Goswami. And for Jayadeva Goswami also, Jagannath ordered, you should take the hand of Padmavati. But Jayadeva Goswami was not interested in marriage, but anyhow, Padmavati father, he left his daughter under the care of Jayadeva Goswami and then left. Then Jayadeva Goswami asked Padmavati, what is your desire? I will fulfill you. Where do you want to go? And Padmavati started to cry. I have come here to serve you. My father has also told me that you are my husband, and that is also under Jagannath order. So Jayadeva Goswami, Padmavati, like Ramachandra Kaviraj, Ratnamala, they didn't have any children. And most of the Vaishnava Acharyas, they had children. Mahaprabhu used to emphasize that Grahastha Ashram means you should raise children, but being completely dedicated, Jayadeva Goswami and Padmavati, they were completely immersed in serving Krishna, especially in Jagannath form. And Jayadeva Goswami later moved to Navadip. There is a place called as Champahati. And Jayadeva Goswami and Gita Govinda, they are non-separable. Because the intense feeling what Mahaprabhu had for Krishna, that is Srimati Radharani's mood for Krishna, that was perfectly reflected in the writings of Jayadeva Goswami. And that's why Jayadeva Goswami, when he was residing at Navadip, there was a famous Bengal ruler king called as Lakshman Sena who was ruling. At that time, behind the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, and just before Murari Gupta Bhavan, whoever has visited Mayapur, there will be a green paddy field. That place is called as Prithukund. At that place, Jayadeva Goswami wrote the Dasa Avatara Stotra. And this went to the king, Lakshman Sen. Just by reading this Dasa Avatara Stotra, he got mesmerized. And then he actually wanted to see Jayadeva Goswami, but the minister and other poets, they told Govardhan Acharya that Jayadeva Goswami is not an ordinary person and he sings for the Lord, not for the mortals. So they advised the king to go in disguise to take darshan of Jayadeva Goswami. Jayadeva Goswami songs, Chandidas, Vidyapati, Bela Mangal Thakur. So it perfectly depicts the subtle feelings of Radharani she has for Krishna. That's why Mahaprabhu, he wanted to relish those feelings. So, Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Rai, they would sing these songs. Because we all know that Gita Govind is esoteric, highest truth. And Mahaprabhu came only for relishing that. And Jayadeva Goswami was also writing Gita Govinda while he was residing at Navadip. And his famous worshipable deity is Radha Madhav. So when he was bathing in the river, Radha Madhav came to him. And Jayadeva Goswami, he was sometimes like 300, 400 years before Mahaprabhu, he appeared. So his famous worshipable deity is Radha Madhav. And he predicted at that time itself, the standard worship of Radha Madhav will spread all over the world. Now we can find that even ISKCON Mayapur deity is named as Radha Madhav, and all the ISKCON centers, they come here and then get trained in deity worship, and that is being followed everywhere. So this Radha Madhav deity, this Radha Madhav name, that was revealed almost like 1,000 years before itself. And this worship of Radha Madhav will spread all over the world. And this famous Radha Madhav deity, the personal worshipable deity of Jayadeva Goswami, is still now in Jaipur. There is one temple called as Kanak Vrindavan. Whoever has gone to Jaipur, they can have a darshan of this Kanak Vrindavan, a wonderful temple, replicate of Vrindavan, and also the beautiful Radha Madhav deity. Devotees whoever visits Jaipur, they prominently visit like in Karoli, Radha Madan Mohan, then in Jaipur, Radha Govind, Radha Gopinathji, and also this one more famous temple, Radha Madhav. And in Jaipur, there is also one more place called as Galtaji, where Baladev Vidya Bhushan, he had some heated debate with Ramanandis, one of the sect from Sri Sampradaya, in order to establish the Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So he wrote the Govinda Bhashya. So these 5 places very, very prominent. Many more pastime places are also there in Jaipur, but these 5 places are more prominent. So if you want to visit the worshipable deity of Jayadeva Goswami, then here is Kanaka Vrindavan at Jaipur. So here at Navadip, Lakshman Sena went in disguise, and then he told that you come to my court, you can come and then reside in my palace. Whatever facility you need, I will give. But Jayadeva Goswami strictly told that I cannot live with you, and if you stress, then I will leave your kingdom. Then Lakshman Sena, he told that actually there is one nice place which is called as Champahati. You go and then reside there. You can build a wonderful cottage, and then you can have a peaceful life. So at this place called as Champahati, Jayadeva Goswami, he was writing Gita Govinda. So at that time, there was a famous verse, Dehi Pada Pallava Mudaram. It means that Krishna is pleading to Srimati Radharani, please keep your reddish lotus feet on my head. Jayadeva Goswami, he had no hesitation in writing, but how to present this in a poet about the acceptability. So he had some hesitation. Then he told to his dear wife Padmavati, I will go and then take a bath and come back. Then immediately there was a knock on the door. So Jagannath, Krishna, in the form of Jayadeva Goswami came, and then in the manuscript it was written, Dehi Pada Pallava Udaram. Then again Krishna, Jagannath in the guise of Jayadeva Goswami asked Padmavati to give him prasad. Then he honored and then he left. Then the original Jayadeva Goswami came. At that time he saw that Padmavati was eating. He was shocked because in the tradition, after husband eats, only wife eats. But she was telling, already you took bath and then came and then wrote something and then took prasad. Now you are asking, it's very strange. Then he could immediately catch the thing that Krishna has come in the disguise. Then he started to glorify Padmavati that you had darshan of Jagannath Krishna, and as well as from your lotus hand, he has taken your prasada. So he was glorifying her devotion like anything. And here we can also see in this pastime all took place at Champahati, where this Gita Govinda was written, and we can see Gaura Gadadhara deity established by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is the personal worshipable deity of Dvija Vaninath, who is the younger brother of Gadadhara Pandit. So esoteric pastime places. So during Navadip Mandal Parikramanda, lot of pastimes, katha happens here. But actually, when we were staying in Mayapur during this lockdown, actually each day we used to go to many places, and then we came here to Champahati, and then devotees made a prasad, dosa, idli, and then that was also offered to the deity. The pujari was so kind enough. Anyhow, this Gaura Gadadhara deity is very, very special because personally established by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and worshipped by Gadadhara Pandit's younger brother Dvija Vaninath. So very, very merciful, and many pastimes took place here. So the first Navadip Mandal Parikrama, when Lord Nityananda took the Jiva Goswami, they also came to Champahati, which is none other than like Kadiravan in Vrindavan. So Nityananda Prabhu was saying to Jiva Goswami, look Jiva, this is Champahati where Jayadeva Goswami resided. And then Jiva Goswami was able to, by his divine vision imparted by Lord Nityananda, he could see all the pastimes happening, and then he started to roll on the ground, showing his ecstatic symptom. All glories to Jayadeva Goswami, all glories to Padmavati, all glories to their attachment to Krishna. All glories to the Gaura Prema, Krishna Prema. I pray to their lotus feet to get a little drop of love for Krishna, attachment for Krishna. So this is how Jiva Goswami is also guiding us how to pray in these places. So we don't, devotees naturally, they feel that they don't have any attachment to Krishna, they don't have love for Krishna. So definitely by praying at these places like how Jiva Goswami prayed here, so we should also pray and then get abundant mercy. So there should be greediness, laulyam. That should be on the spiritual aspect. And actually, we tolerate many things. And the worst tolerance is actually getting separated from Krishna. So generally people ask, how to develop this mood of tolerance. We are already separated from Krishna. Your child is separated from the mother, father, and also the life and soul. So that itself is the worst, horrible tolerance what a jiva can exhibit in this material world. Only actually one thing, because this Acharya say that how to cry for Krishna. We are already separated from Krishna, and this material world is though it is a Dukkalayam Asaswatam, it is a wonderful place to develop attachment to Krishna in the sense that we are separated from Krishna. So this is the mood Jayadeva Goswami is exhibiting here. And then actually here, the deity, the personal worshipable deity, Radha Madhav, they also appeared as Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he instructed Jayadeva Goswami, now you should go to Jagannath Puri, and then you should daily sing this Gita Govinda, which is dear to Jagannath Puri. And once you leave your body, you will come back to Navadip. And then they actually, we can see how they exhibited their mood. We were living in Navadip, now we are forced to give up this dham and then go to Puri. It means that we have committed some aparat. And every step they were marching towards Puri, they were just seeing this Navadip island, that I am a great aparadi. So this is also the mood exhibited by the great acharyas. And after coming to Jagannath Puri, he used to sing Gita Govinda. We all know that how one small girl called Padmavati. This Padmavati is not different from Jayadeva Goswami wife. She also used to sing Gita Govinda and then plucking brinjal, the eggplant. Jagannath was so much attracted that his dress was torn into pieces, and the next day morning the pujari was shocked to see that Jagannath clothes were torn into pieces. The message were sent to the king, and then the Jagannath by his mercy came to the king's dream saying that I am always attracted in hearing Gita Govinda. And then the small girl Padmavati, she was also taken into the kingdom where all facilities were given, and still now Gita Govinda is being sung, and Jagannath is resting when Jagannath is eating. Actually, this Gita Govinda, Jayadeva Goswami, because at that time they used to write all this in palm leaves. So he actually wanted to imprint in a cloth, and then he wanted to wrap this cloth around the body of Jagannath. So he went to a weaver, and then he told, I will sing, then you have to imprint in the cloth. So while he was singing in meditation, he went into trance. Trance means actually he entered into the eternal pastimes of Radha Krishna, but apparently it looked like he was sleeping. At that time, one small Brahmana boy came that I am the younger brother of Jayadeva Goswami, Krishna Deva, and then he used to sing from the place where Jayadeva Goswami left, and then the complete song was imprinted in this cloth. And when Jayadeva Goswami came to his external consciousness, then he came to know that the other person has recited, and he claimed that he is the younger brother. Then he could understand that it's Krishna, but again he started to glorify the weaver because he had a darshan of Krishna, Jagannath. And still now we can see how Gita Govinda is very, very intimate to Lord Jagannath. And you all know the famous pastimes of Salagram Sila and the cobbler. So the cobbler was using this Salagram Sila in hitting the nails. The Brahmana saw and he was shocked. He took the Salagram Sila to his house and then daily worshipped with the honey, yogurt, and then with tulasi, Ganga Jal. Then after a few days, the Salagram Sila started to speak, you again hand over me to the cobbler. So the Brahmana was shocked. I am daily doing Abhishek, but he is hitting you with the nails. Why you want to go there? But he told that, no, he is daily singing half a verse of Gita Govinda. It is so dear to me. We can understand how this Gita Govinda is very, very dear. And there is also one pastime that his personal worshipable Radha Madhav deity, he wanted to thatch a roof. So at that time when the roof was being thatched, generally he was the person because he wanted to build a personal residence to Radha Madhav, and then for the rope and other thing to come up, he used to say, "Hey Padmavati, bring that, bring that." Then everything will come to his hand, and then he actually thatched the roof. At the end of the day, he just saw Padmavati doing other seva. Padmavati told, "I didn't give any rope or any straw to you." Then immediately he came and then saw the beautiful hands of Madhav, where actually it was black figured. Like he has given many ropes as well as the straw. Then he could understand that, oh, Madhav has actually assisted me in thatching the rope. And one time, Padmavati, she is known for her chastity. So the Lakshman Sena's wife, her brother, somehow or other, he died. And at that time there was sati system. Sati system means naturally a husband, after he leaves the body, the wife voluntarily, she also makes her body in the funeral fire. So it will be like a voluntary sati system where they leave the body instantly. And Padmavati told that a chaste lady means after hearing the husband's death, she should immediately leave the body. So that is the perfect chastity. So the king wanted to, the king's wife wanted to test the chastity of Padmavati. And then for jokingly, she said that Jayadeva Goswami is dead. Then immediately Padmavati left her body. Then she immediately started to cry, feeling guilt, and then asked Jayadeva Goswami, "I wanted to play a joke, but this thing happened." Then Jayadeva Goswami came and then he chanted Krishna name. Then she again came back to life. And then Jayadeva Goswami, his popularity was spreading everywhere. So naturally, there was a plot and conspiracy to kill Jayadeva Goswami. At the time, when Jayadeva Goswami, he wanted to make a small festival to his worshipable Radha Madhav deity when he was on the tour, actually he was robbed, and then actually he was thrown into a well. After that, he was rescued by the king. And then the same robbery gang came in the disguise of Vaishnava devotees. And then when they saw Jayadeva Goswami, they started to tremble. Jayadeva Goswami also, he found out the reason of the trembling, because Jayadeva Goswami is very dear to the king. But anyhow, Jayadeva Goswami didn't show his symptom. He told to the king, but because they actually, the robbery king dacoits, they actually wanted to leave the place immediately. So Jayadeva Goswami, knowing their mindset, he immediately ordered the king that you should give a large sum of money, because he didn't take any revenge. But these ungrateful dacoits, while they were on their way to the soldiers, they were criticizing and then blaspheming Jayadeva Goswami, saying that Jayadeva Goswami gave large sum of money because he didn't want himself to be exposed as a fraud. So he, hearing all these lies, then immediately Mother Earth, she opened her space. Then all the dacoit gang people, they got buried, and this actually was personally witnessed by the soldiers, and the incident were reported to the king. So Mother Earth would not tolerate lie as well as blaspheming great devotees. So like this, there are wonderful pastimes of Jayadeva Goswami, and there was a king called Purushottam Dev. Because of Jayadeva Goswami's Gita Govinda getting popular, he also wrote one Abhinav Gita, and he wanted that Abhinav Gita to be read before Jagannath. So naturally, this was consulted among Brahmanas, and they told that the Sayana Arati time we will keep both Gita Govinda and Abhinav Gita, and the next day morning we will see what Lord Jagannath has accepted. So next day Mangal Arati, the total Puri people attendance were full in Jagannath temple because they were curious to know. And when the pujaris opened the door, they could see the leaves of Abhinav Gita flying here and there, and Jayadeva Goswami Gita Govinda was personally embraced by Jagannath. And then Jagannath told that your devotion certainly cannot match Jayadeva Goswami, but certainly you also have great devotion to me. I will also accept a part of your devotion. And actually it's esoteric, but anyhow, I used to recite this half verse of Gita Govinda daily, so I just wanted to share this verse. Rase harimiha vihita vilasam smarate mano mama krita parihasam. So I just recite this half verse daily. So the meaning is, oh dear one Sri Krishna, your loving smile, his pastime during his Rasa Leela, it awakens within my mind. So this is actually the mood of Srimati Radharani. And his sweet lips blew into his enchanting flute. His eyes were restless and full of longing. Thus his crown tilted as his earrings played over his cheeks. So this is the beauty of Krishna. Somehow or other, we should get attracted to the beauty of Krishna. If we don't get attracted to the beauty of Krishna, we will get attracted to the beauty of this material world. And the beauty of Krishna's face is compared to 23.5 moon, like 10 fingers, 10 nails. So all the 10 nails, it has a glowing effulgence, and each nail is compared to one moon. So 2 hands, 10 nail, so 10 moon. Similarly, both lotus feet, 10 nail, so 10 plus 10, 20 moons. His complete face is 1 moon, 21. His one side of the cheek is like 1 moon, 22. His other side of the cheek is compared to 23rd moon. And then his forehead half. So his beauty is compared to 23.5 moons. That's why Krishna's beauty is enchanting. His 3-bended Shyama Sundara form. More than that, his enchanting beauty is his lotus face. And more than his lotus face is his sweet smile. And his flute is able to drink the nectar from the lotus, from the lips of Lord Krishna. That's why more glorification happens to the Venu, the flute of Lord Krishna. Anyhow, Krishna's beauty is also compared to Chamudrika Lakshana, 32 symptoms, like the lotus eye, like a fish, it should touch the ear, and then the eyebrows, and then the soft parts of Krishna's body, and then broad chest, small waist, like that there are 32 symptoms. And Krishna, his earring, we all know that if it touches the cheek, it adds beauty. Whenever we wear clothes and ornaments, our beauty gets enhanced. But in the Krishna's perspective, it is ulta. When Krishna wears ornaments and Krishna wears clothes, it adds effulgence, glittering beauty to the clothes and ornaments. So that is the thing. But anyhow, this is an esoteric, deep meaning of Gita Govinda. So at least maybe we can recite at least few words of Gita Govinda. And even Ganga Devi comes to take darshan of Jayadeva Goswami, because since he was living in Kendu Bilva, there is one river called as Ajaya. So that is also one sub branch of Ganga Devi. So it is flowing very near to the house of Jayadeva Goswami. Though there are many opinions where Jayadeva Goswami left his body, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that he left his body at Jagannath Puri. And also we can also hear from the pastimes of Mahaprabhu instructing Jayadeva Goswami, you should reside till your end of life at Jagannath Puri, and then you should glorify Lord Jagannath using this Gita Govind song, and then you will come back to Navadvip. So now we will be seeing the wonderful pastimes of Lochan das Thakur. So Lochan das Thakur birthplace is Kogram. So he is also Lochan das Thakur. He is also a physician. And then he is actually Lochan Shaki in Krishna Leela. There is also famous Lochan das Thakur song. Parama Koruna Bahudwijana Nitai Gaurachandra Saba Avatar Sarasiromani Kevala Ananda Kanda. Parama Koruna Bahudwijana Nitai Gaurachandra Saba Avatar Sarasiromani. He is the Christ jewel of all incarnation. He is the Christ jewel of love. Lochan das Thakur is famous for his Gauranga Prem because already Srikanda Vasis, they have tremendous attachment to Mahaprabhu. And you will all hear from the most of the Vaishnava Acharya songs. And specifically Lochan das Thakur, he glorifies Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. And this, and in Kogram also, we can find the river Ajaya flowing here. Kogram is not much far from Srikanda. Lochan das Thakur, he was also married like Ramachandra Kaviraj. He also didn't have any children. Divine couple, completely absorbed in love for Krishna. The in-laws somehow or other told that you should spend your time with the wife. Anyhow, they both were exalted in the nature that they always discussed only about the Krishna Katha. And he wrote this famous Chaitanya Mangal. And this is the exact tree under which Lochan das Thakur wrote Chaitanya Mangal. And here actually we can read a few chapters of Chaitanya Mangal. Behind the banyan tree, we can find a Bhajan Kutir. That Bhajan Kutir is the Bhajan Kutir of his spiritual master Narahari Sarkar. Narahari Sarkar is Madhumati Shaki and Lochan das Thakur is Lochana Shaki. So we can understand they are all the eternal associates of Radha Krishna. So somehow or other, we should develop in Kali Yuga. Actually, the mood should be to take complete shelter of Gaur Nitai. And actually, Chaitanya Mangal is a small book with lot of story pastimes. And this puppy pastimes, many pastimes are all narrated by Lochan das Thakur. Just by reading Chaitanya Mangal, whatever may be their heart condition, whether it may be a stone or like an iron, it definitely melts. And not only melts, some little bit of shadow reflection of the emotion also comes out, that everyone, whoever has read this Chaitanya Mangal, they have experienced this emotion, because whatever the emotion experienced by Lochan das Thakur is being expressed here. So the devotees here, we can see that they are reading Chaitanya Mangal, somehow or other to get attachment to Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. And this is Baradanga. This is hardly few kilometers from Srikanda. And behind the banyan tree, we can see a small Bhajan Kutir. That is the Bhajan Kutir of Narahari Sarkar. So immediately, Narahari Sarkar's Bhajan Kutir, he chose this place, Lochan das Thakur, to write Chaitanya Mangal. So here, when devotees go here, they used to play Kirtan of Mahaprabhu and then read Chaitanya Mangal and then pray here at the lotus feet to get, because Mahaprabhu says that our ultimate is serving Krishna in Vrindavan. So we should get attachment to Krishna and we should develop this desire, Asha Bandha, that we should also enter into the nectarian pastimes of Radha and Krishna to serve them eternally. That is our ideal goal. And this is the perfect place to worship. So he was actually, Lochan das Thakur, he took birth almost like 34 years after Mahaprabhu appeared, somewhere in the year of 1520 like that. And then he wrote Chaitanya Mangal here, not far from this place, is called as Denur. Denur is the place where Vrindavan das Thakur wrote Chaitanya Mangal. So here, from this place, Lochan das Thakur also went to Denur, had a darshan of Vrindavan das Thakur, and they used to discuss about the pastimes. The Veda, he is Veda Vyas. Here he is Lochan Shaki about the Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So now we will be hearing about the glorious pastimes of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he visited South India, and then here he stayed here for 4 months. And we all know that Mahaprabhu, during his south journey, this was the place where he stayed for more time. Actually, his dance completely captivated the residents of Rangashetra. Rangashetra means Ranganathji. Ranganathji means he is actually Bala Gopal. One of the Alvar, he went near Ranganathji, and then in his Pasram he wrote that from the lotus mouth of Ranganathji comes the fragrance of butter. Who takes butter? We all know that Krishna. So Ranganathji is Bala Gopal, that is non-different. So Ranganathji darshan he used to take like in Puri. While he took darshan of Jagannatha, Mahaprabhu fainted in ecstasy. Like that here also he fainted in ecstasy. At that time, Venkata Bhatta, the father of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he was completely mesmerized by the beauty of Lord Chaitanya, and he requested, please come to my home. And then Mahaprabhu went and then resided in the home of Venkata Bhatta for 4 months. And Jagannath, Mahaprabhu used to see Jagannath as Krishna because he himself is in the mood of Radharani. Like that here, Ranganathji, Mahaprabhu, he used to take darshan as Krishna. Krishna and Ranganathji, they are not different. So he did a heavy kirtan at Srirangam. Here actually, when Mahaprabhu came here, like how he danced in Kanchi, how he danced at Kanchipuram, how he danced at Srirangam. Local people, though both in the south, mostly it's predominated by the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. They were completely mesmerized by the beautiful dance kirtan, the holy name emanating from the lotus mouth of Mahaprabhu. And this is the exact place where Mahaprabhu stayed in Srirangam for 4 months. This is the Gopala Bhatta Goswami residence. Now it has been transformed as Jagannath Mutt. We all know that Mahaprabhu, he experienced this Vipralamba Bhava, separation from the love of Krishna. So he can't get separated himself from Jagannathji. So Mahaprabhu's personal worshipable deity at Srirangam, we are witnessing this deity, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi. But we can see like most of the deities, whether it's in like in France, in US, in Australia, or in China, the dress of the deity, as well as the face of the deity, you can see like the local people dress as well as the face getting transformed. But in Srirangam, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi, so the way of dressing, like from Sri Sampradaya, you can see representing the Rangashetra mood. So Mahaprabhu, when he stayed here at Sri Rangashetra, he worshipped this personal worshipable deity, which we can even take darshan now also. Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi. You can see, but in a different form. But anyhow, in the mood of Rangashetra, it's being worshipped. And here, when Mahaprabhu, he was staying at the house of Venkata Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, he was a small child. And then he used to pick Gopala Bhatta Goswami in his lap. And then he used to give his remnant. Then he told that you should study Bhakti Sastra, you should take care of your parents nicely, and once they leave their body, you should go to Vrindavan and take the association of the Goswamis of Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. And then after having intimate pastime with Venkata Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, The Gopala Bhatta Goswami's uncle is Prabodhananda Saraswati, who had tremendous attachment to Vrindavan. So he got nicely trained, and then he went to Vrindavan. So when Gopala Bhatta Goswami came to Vrindavan, already when Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, he told that in the coming future, Gopala Bhatta Goswami will be joining you, and immediately the message was also sent to Mahaprabhu at Puri. When Mahaprabhu heard the news that Gopala Bhatta Goswami have come to Vrindavan and then joined the association of Rupa Sanatana Goswami, he immediately from Puri, he gave Kaupin as well as the outer garment as a symbolic representation of the renunciation. Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Rupa Sanatana Goswami, they were very, very happy getting those remnants from Mahaprabhu. And then Gopala Bhatta Goswami, from here, he went to Haridwar, and then he stayed in a Brahmana's house. At that time, the Brahmana was completely mesmerized by the beauty, devotion of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. And then he told that once I get a child, I will entrust my child to your seva. Then from Haridwar, Deva Danya Gram, from that village he went to Gandaki river in Nepal. And then we all know that how 12 Salagram Sila came to the hand of Gopala Bhatta Goswami. He used to carry all these 12 Salagram Sila with a wrapped cloth hanging from his neck. And then he also desired Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he wanted to, though he was interested in worshipping Salagram Sila, he actually wanted to worship the personal deity form. So immediately one great merchant came and then he offered a lot of ornaments and clothes. So generally for Salagram Sila, he used to offer this food arati. Next day morning, when Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he went to woke up the deity, one deity got transformed into Radha Raman deity form. So beautiful, enchanting. And as per the desire of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, there were nice, beautiful ornaments and cloths which he immediately decorated Radha Raman form. And this Radha Raman deity is very, very special in the sense that when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came to Vrindavan, so he was ferociously preaching against the caste Brahmana. So the other temple Goswamis, they didn't allow Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could take darshan of only this deity, Radha Raman deity of this Gopala Bhatta Goswami descendants being worshipping there. So then he told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that if one worships Radha Raman deity, it means that he has worshipped all other like Radha, Madan Mohan, Govinda, Gopinath, Radha, Gokulananda, Shyama Sundara, Damodara deity. It's very, very special. And Swayambhu, self-manifested. Though it's Swayambhu, self-manifested, out of the devotion which Gopala Bhatta Goswami had, we can see that how the deities get manifested. Actually, devotion only manifests deity. Devotion only can build a temple, not money. That we have to understand. So in devotional principle, so we should somehow or other develop little bit of devotion, then everything will become perfect. Whether if we want to do big seva, if we have devotion, that will get automatically fulfilled, and that we can see in the deity pastimes of Gopala Bhatta Goswami, his personal worshipable Radha Raman deity. Then Gopala Bhatta Goswami, he actually originated this Sat Sandarbha, but later it was elaborately described by Jayadeva Goswami in a systematic way. And then he also had a nice, wonderful festival in Vrindavan, where actually this news is spread far and wide that the Goswamis of Vrindavan, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami, Lokanath Goswami, they all came to have this wonderful darshan of Radha Raman deity, and a major festival happened there. We all know that Gopal Bhatta Goswami, when he was at Srirangam, he got tremendous attachment to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And here Radharaman deity, he also showed the form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu to Gopala Bhatta Goswami. So that's why Srisha Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that this deity is very, very special. This darshan Gopala Bhatta Goswami had. Gopala Bhatta Goswami is famous for deity worship. He had so much love, care and affection that he exhibited. And his Samadhi is also located in Radha Raman temple, Gopala Bhatta Goswami. Samadhi is very, very powerful than the deity. And whatever desire, especially attachment to Krishna, getting a little tiny drop of love for Krishna, prem for Krishna, we can get by glorifying this great personality, by hearing about their glorious pastime and then praying at their lotus feet. And they have descended here only to give that. And if we sincerely desire, we can become the proper recipients to get a love for Krishna. Gopala Bhatta Goswami, Samadhi, and also his worshipable deity, they are in the Radha Raman temple. And he came actually from South India. Gopala Bhatta Goswami is Guna Manjari, sometimes also said Ananga Manjari, and his disciple is Srinivasa Acharya. So I can see how Gopala Bhatta Goswami is Guna Manjari, Lochan das Thakur is Lochan Shaki, Ramachandra, Kaviraj is Karuna Manjari, Jayadeva Goswami, very intimate devotee of Jagannath Krishna. So by remembering and meditating on these great, wonderful personalities, we can definitely, in the mood of humility, as well as we should open our mind and heart. This is a horrible place that we are separated from Krishna. And these great personalities, they demonstrated the mood, how to cry for Krishna, how to long for Krishna, how to lament for being separated from Krishna. And this finer mood, if we develop, then the human form of life is successful. Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you. I end up with this. So if you have any comments, suggestions, welcome. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful class with all your PPTs. So it was very wonderful to know about all the great acharyas, starting from Ramachandra Kaviraj, which you told he was the disciple of Srinivasa Acharya, and then the deities. There are three important places. That is Jajigram near Katwa and Kumarpara and Bhavan Gola. So, and about Jayadeva Goswami, you told about Kendali village and their parents, wife Padmavati, and lots of pastimes you revealed about Jayadeva Goswami. It was so wonderful to hear about Prabhuji. So, and the most famous pastime is Dehe Pada Pallavam Udaram. So, which you told us. So that pastime is really very heart-touching. So every time when we hear from different speakers also, but still it's relation. And then the Shaligrama Sheila and the cobbler pastime, which you told, and thatching roof pastimes, then chastity, the joke, like the how Padmavati Tayar was just jokingly told, like Jayadeva Goswami has passed away, and she also end up her life, and how Jayadeva Goswami then chanted the holy name and got her alive. So that is a powerful of the holy name which we are chanting every day. So, but the thing is, we have to chant it very attentively. That is what we just, at least for me, I just want to, I'm just praying that I should chant it attentively. So, and then the thieves punishing pastime, it was very wonderful. And the Abhinav Gita recitation in Jagannath Puri, where Jagannatha Swami has got hold of Gita Govind and also Abhinav Gita, but Gita Govind was more attached to Jagannatha Swamiji. And then about about the Gita Govind verse which you told, Rase Harim Heha Vihita Vilasam Smarati Mano Mama Krita Paritasam. Hare Krishna. So if there is any wrong, sorry Prabhuji, I will just make it a note and recite it recite it every day as you told. And then the 23 and a half moons of moons, which describes about the Krishna's beauty, is described as 23 and a half moons, which is 10 fingernails and 10 leg nails and one face and one side of both the sides of cheek, which is each one and a half forehead. And and Krishna is always Samudrika Lakshanam. So we are nowhere anywhere equal to Krishna. And you told very rightly, you said that we are beautiful only with the ornaments, but Krishna gives the ornaments the beauty. So that was really very good. And then about Lochan das Thakur, you told where he is also an Ayurvedic physician, and about the Chaitanya Mangal, about the Chaitanya Mangal you told, and his spiritual master is Narhari Sarkar, and Baradanga, the Bhajan Kutir you told, and then about Gopal Goswami and Sri Rangam pastimes, and the Jagannath Balabhadra Subhadra deity, and the heavy kirtan which was performed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Vaishnava and Sri Sampradaya, all were attracted to the kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Radharaman deity. And the Radharaman deity also revealed the Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Means the Radharaman deity also revealed the darshan of Gauranga Mahaprabhu to Gopal Bhatta Goswami, where Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati told, because one must worship this Radharaman deity which has the form of even Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami is none other than Gunamanjari or Ananga Manjari, which you told. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for those wonderful pastimes. It was very wonderful to hear it from you, and very relishing, Prabhuji. So each time you come, it's a virtual tour we are getting, and also about all the pastimes we are just recollecting and getting to know about new pastimes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful time and association. And devotees, if you have any questions and realizations, please go ahead, unmute yourselves and please go.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Beautiful, beautiful classes. Mataji has said it is every time you come, you give us love for Dhams and also the previous Acharyas. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Even though we hear the same past and before also, but when you narrate it with the pictures and everything, it's so wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. When we know the poster came out, oh, Prabhuji is coming, it's very nice. It's going to be very nice, because every day we hear Bhagavatam, and when you come, it's going to Yatra. It is very, very nice, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very beautiful association, Prabhuji. From bottom of our heart, we are very grateful to you, and thank you.
Thank you, Vinita Katarika Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, very, very rightly said, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, wonderful class and very nice, beautiful darshans. You took us to the yatra everywhere, and the darshan got disappeared now. Wow. But it was such a nice presentation, Prabhu. Very, very grateful to you. You put so much efforts to collect all these pictures, and you personally went there. So that's what it is. You take us to yatra every time whenever you come. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shama Gauri Mataji.
Shireshwar Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu, for nice pastimes of different Goswamis. Prabhuji, when you showed the Gopal Bhatta Goswamis near Srirangam, the Jagannath deities, like Jagannatha deities are generally have wide eyes, right, Prabhu? The deities do not look like that.
Yeah. So, like as I said earlier, like we have some image of Jagannatha deity. But in Srirangam, we can see the Jagannath in a different mood, and even like in Benapola, the place where Haridas Thakur delivered Lakshahira, we can see Jagannatha deity's hand, like showing the hand to the lotus feet in a different form. So actually we can see according to the places and pastimes, Jagannath also reveals differently, but being in Rangashetra, Jagannath reveals himself maybe with the mood of those Kshetras and also with the persons, those who are worshipping him, because ultimately Mahaprabhu was worshipping Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi in the home of Venkata Bhatta, who happened to be from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So they had tremendous attachment to Ranganathaji. And then there was also a discussion happening between Venkata Bhatta and Mahaprabhu. He used to lovingly, jokingly say that Lakshmi ji is the ornament of chastity, but still why she got attracted to Krishna. And then Venkata Bhatta, he answered that Narayana and Krishna are one and the same. So there is no question of Lakshmi Devi losing her chastity. But still, Krishna told, Mahaprabhu told to Venkata Bhatta that your Lakshmi Devi, she is the crest jewel of chastity, and my Krishna is a Gopal. So here in Vrindavan, Krishna is a sweet beauty, and your Lakshmi Devi is with the power and the opulence. So some technical difference with lovingly, jokingly, he said. So generally in Sriranga Kshetra, it is the mood of power and opulence. So, and Mahaprabhu told that even Upanishad, they were able to enter into Vrindavan, but your Lakshmi Devi could not enter into the pastimes of Vrindavan because she doesn't want to renounce her opulent position in Vaikuntha and couldn't follow in the footsteps of the gopis. So actually we can find in Rangashetra the mood of power and opulence. So naturally the Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Devi also gets reflected in that mood.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Antaranga Seva Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for a wonderful class. My question was that most of the Goswamis I read are Manjaris in their original Swarup is Manjaris. So is there any specific reason for this that most of them are Manjaris?
As per the our Gaudiya Sampradaya is concerned, Mahaprabhu taught us Vipralamba Bhav. We all know that in Madhurya Aras there is both husband-wife relationship as well as like in the mood of the gopis in Paramar love. So these Manjaris, they are all in the Paramar love. And they are assistants of Srimati Radharani, and our HOD, head of department is Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari, and from Rupa Goswami to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They are all Manjaris, they are all like, but we can find that actually the spiritual masters, they are either associates of Adi Guru Balaram Nityananda or associates of or the friends of Srimati Radharani. So we can find that they can be either Shakis, Gopis or Manjaris, but mostly Manjaris. Manjaris are actually serving the Gopis. So actually Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that wherever Srimati Radharani needs a helping hand, we should go there to serve her. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur preferred to take his next birth in Kurukshetra also, like because Radharani wants to bring Krishna to Vrindavan, bringing in the Rath. So like this Manjaris, they are all only assisting Srimati Radharani. Radharani, there are many different categories of Shakis. One who are completely attracted and devoted to Krishna, completely attracted and devoted to Srimati Radharani, both like that. But as far as we are concerned, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that for us, everything is only Srimati Radharani. We are concerned only about Srimati Radharani. Because the mood of the Manjaris is to assist Srimati Radharani in many ways. Because the Manjaris' mood is always to see Radha and Krishna together. They never aspire to become intimate with Krishna, but they always aspire to see the divine couple, Radha Krishna, Prana, that sang, we can see that the divine couple vision should be always in our mind and heart. So this is the mood exhibited. And generally, this mood of Mahaprabhu, which he exhibited, is definitely the mood of the gopis. So gopis, Shakis, as well as Manjaris, they are exhibiting the highest Vipralamba separation mood from Krishna. Definitely this mood can be experienced in this material, because Lord Ramachandra, he experienced this mood by getting separated from Sita Devi. And similarly, when Mahaprabhu resided at Jagannath Puri, the last 16 years, he demonstrated this mood, Vipralamba, externally getting separated, but internally in the heart getting united with the Krishna. So this is the divine couple darshan mood. So naturally, wherever our HOD is there, we will go there only. So in that way, Mahaprabhu has come here only to propagate this Madhurya Rasa. Mostly whoever is in ISKCON or following the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, they take up their identity as Shakis or Manjaris, mostly. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, devotees, any more questions or realizations? Hare Krishna. So, if no more questions, so let's end up our call here. Let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatrupasya pasamgateva patitanam pavanabhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. His Grace Jivana Gaur Hari Prabhuji ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dhanavad Pranam, Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Beautiful class.
Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Dandavat.
Thank you everyone for joining today's Srimad Bhagavatam class.
Bye.
Tomorrow. Hare Krishna.